Hi everyone, welcome to another session of Chinaja TV News Scope. My name is Olatunde, and today I have a couple of news that we actually want to talk about very quickly. So, without much ado, I just want to start with the story of the governor, the governor of Niger State, Governor Umar Bago. Basically, has said it's mandatory for preachers to submit their sermons for approval, which I think is just crazy, So I understand what they're trying to do, but it doesn't make sense. So we're talking about the Uganda woman who refuses to leave an Asian man car, claiming she's in love with the man. I was looking for security. Then we have this is this cleric, Mr. Gumi, said once Nigerian army orders against provoking terrorists after peace deal. What peace deal is he talking about? Peace deal as what? Where they do peace deal by the following day, these people are already they've re-strategized, and then they've actually got other people that they've kidnapped. So I don't know what the point is. Then lastly, we'll be talking about um, River State, which is the emergency rule declaration that the President Tinubu actually declared over River State is ended, and the people of River State are really rejoicing, and there seems to be peace finally um, actually showing up between Wike, the FCT minister, and the governor of River State. So let's start very quickly with the preachers that have been given. When I say preachers, not just Islamic, whether they are Christian. So I don't understand exactly what that means, but let me share this very quickly. So it actually says that Governor Umar Bago of Niger State has said it's mandatory for preachers to submit their sermons for approval. Speaking on TVC Politics on Sunday, Governor clarified some aspect of the law seeking to regulate preaching in the state. I didn't ban evangelism for everyone going to sermon on Friday. It should bring the scripture for review. What gives them the right to be able to review that what you want to pick and choose what should be said? No, I mean, I kind of understand what they're trying to do, but it's not just going to start. Then he said, even in Saudi Arabia, this is done. We cannot say because you have been given the opportunity to be a cleric, you'll go out and preach the gospel that is anti-people, anti-government, and you think it's normal. Um, ask if it was out of fear of indoctrination. Indoctrination. The governor said it's in that direction. We want to be able to see what they are preaching, hear what they are saying. We are working together with security agencies, the Department of State Security, State Services, the Police, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and the military. The development, which was became public earlier in the month, has generated controversy, and rightly so. The Director General of the Niger State Religious Affairs, Umar Farouk, has said anyone interested in preaching in Niger must obtain a license, emphasizing that preachers have 2 months to obtain their license. It is true that state governors ban preaching. Any preacher who wants to preach must secure a license between now and the next 2 months. All they need to do is to visit our office, get and fill out the form, after which they will have to face a panel that will screen them before they can start preaching, Farouk said. Reacting to development, the chief imam of the Federal University of Technology, Minabashi Yakuzo, had said, my opinion is that preaching is a command. The government is not paying anyone for doing the job. People are preaching in order to earn the pleasure of God. So the government cannot dictate who to preach to and who not to preach. But at the same time, if there are people who are going out of their way to cause security threats, using abusive words and so on, then government can have control over that in order to maintain peace and security. The Secretary of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Niger State Chapter, Raphael Okwewoye, had said that had said the Christian body was not aware of the ban. The Christian Association of Nigeria is not aware of the ban. We shall come up with a statement when we are officially informed, he had said. But an Islamic scholar, Hutman Siraja, had described it as an infringement on religious rights. The ban on preaching is an infringement of freedom of worship and religion. The best thing for the government to do is to invite and penalize any preacher who incite the public in cause of his preaching, he had said. I think the actual target is the Muslim clerics that they are really targeting, but they want it to be as if they are targeting the Islamic religion. So they've sort of brought other people in because hardly would you have Christians going around inciting people. You will not get that. So obviously, we all know exactly who they are really targeting. So I think that they could have just been very courageous and just focus on that and just say it rather than trying to actually make things difficult for other religion, especially Christianity. So that's it really. I think it's just it's non-starters. Seriously. So what exactly are they going to do? Are they going to be telling people that okay, you can't this part of your message, don't preach this because how? Now, I think they're not being realistic in their approach. Absolutely. Yes, it is true that there are some Islamic clerics. I mean, it's known, it's not new. They will, on Friday especially, they will incite the people, say all sorts of things. So the Niger State government should focus on that. How many times have they had any Christian preachers going around inciting people? After church service, there you see them going out attacking people or something on a Sunday. So what they're trying to do is just sort of put everything like in a big pot and said, "Oh, we're not just talking about Islamic religion; we're talking about Christianity too." But there's no basis for that. There's no reason that they should be doing that. So um, the next story that we've actually got is about the cleric Gumi. I think this is the kind of person that they should actually be targeting. This is the kind of people that they should be targeting because they are Gumi is one of the look. The guy is a mixed bag. Let me just put it that way. Serious mixed bag because one minute is he said he's actually trying to bring peace between between the communities and terrorists and all that, but because of the way he engages, sometimes you're not actually sure exactly what is going on, whether he's actually for them or whether he's against them, or you're not really, even though on the face of it it's like, okay, he's trying to bring the peace. Okay, so let's actually look at this. Right. So Gumi wants Nigerian army orders against provoking terrorists after peace deal. So it's a controversial Cardinal-based Islamic cleric, exactly controversial, Sheikh Ahmed Gumi, has once again waded into Nigerian worsening security crisis, cautioning security agencies against provoking armed groups in Katsina State after a peace deal was struck between terrorists and residents of Faskari local government area. In a Facebook post, Gumi warned that any attempt to attack the armed group could reignite violence in the state. Some people who don't want peace will provoke them again by attacking them. It's very important to educate them they are being used by capitalizing on their ignorance and zeal to vengeance. Well, but put it this way, I heard a story recently about a terrorist, a kidnapper, bandits. Yeah, these guys, they all work in the same thing. So it just depends on which of the aspect of those or which area they are operating on that day. And this guy was said to have been responsible for 32 deaths about a few days earlier, like about 2 days earlier. Then later, it was then found out that when they were doing peace talk, this guy has the audacity to show up after killing like 32 people. Said he's taking part in a peace. So it's one of the reasons why I'm very skeptical about this peace plan. It's never worked. These same people, they will use it to sort of regroup, Like, okay, so to me, I can understand where they're talking about, okay, let's make peace. But there are some things that are just too hard. When you're talking about too hard, I'm talking of situation whereby you can't really just say that what the atrocity they've committed is just, you can't just sweep it away. I'm all for peace. But these people have demonstrated time and time again that, regardless of what you do, and the moment you do, so that means that, so when they're a bit tired, they will say, okay, okay, we want peace too. Then the next thing, I mean, we've seen it. Some of the remediation campaigns that they've had up north of the country, where some of these people have gone back. The only issue that we're having right now is that we don't have any data that we can use to compare, so we know what percentage. But what we do know is that some of these people, they actually go back. You know, we've not seen any success story that they can, show to say that, okay, look at it, right? These people used to be, this is 5 years down the line, they are no longer engaged in this. That can be encouraging. But we don't have that. Instead, what we see is there are people who have been, who have gone through these reprogramming projects in which they've actually gone back. That's what we're saying. you know so it's okay for the likes of Gumi to actually come around and be saying that they should not provoke them. Okay, when you are rehabilitating these people, what about the victims? What is being done for the victims? Because I see a lot of things, people that perpetrate evil are being given money, given education, given all sorts of things, so they're being rewarded. What about the victims? What is being done for them? you know so this is very important. So what he is talking about, I just feel that, sorry to use this word, but he's just talking nonsense. Not once has he actually talked about the victims. He has every right to say that he's actually trying to bring peace. I get that, but at the same time, there needs to be a balance. What about the victim? They're just left there. Their loved ones have been killed. Like the person I mentioned earlier, 2 days earlier, 32 people. He killed 32 people. He was responsible for their death. Then 2 days later, he's sitting in a panel, a high level panel, where they're having a peace meeting. And this guy is there after killing 30 people, 32 people. It's crazy. So why? So he's saying that some people from the community might want to attack them. Of course, when they're not getting justice, when the people that have killed their loved ones, maybe they've killed their wives, their husband, their children, I know they're sitting down there trying to be a normal part of. Who does that? And you say you think you can just walk back to the community as a normal person? That is not normal. During the meeting, Alera admitted that past hostility with security operatives worsened after one of his followers was arrested without explanation, despite appeals to local and state authorities. What brought about this meeting is that one of my boys was arrested. Can you imagine? At that time, we were not on good terms with the security operative. I asked why they arrested him. They did not give me any explanation. They said, look, you have to understand that the security operative, yes, they actually work on the bills of the state. Their colleagues have been killed. They are there to actually provide security for these people. But we also know that these people here now trying to sound as if they are victims. They're not victims. The way they have killed some of our security operatives, the way and manner they have killed them. Even when you want to kill a ram, you will do it in a more humane way. These people have killed some of these security. Yes, of course, the primary concern is the communities. But when these people have had encounter with security operatives, and they've been able to capture some of them, the way they've treated them. So I can understand the security operatives feeling, very hard done by. That these guys who have killed their colleagues are now coming and saying that we are doing peace. I think they need to look at it properly. It's not as simple as that. We want peace, but it will be. How can there be peace if there's no justice? How can somebody create? Look, you can't say because things are hard, so they are being forced to. So if somebody is broke, so they have every right to go to the bank and just put on a black lava, pull out a cutlass or a gun and say, yeah, your money or your life. So that does that justify it? Also present was a Fulani elder, Kwashegawa, who was filmed with ammunition strapped to his waist. He condemned the stereotyping of Fulani as bandits, insisted that criminality exists among all tribes. Hello, I mean, just look at that. In Nigeria, are you allowed to actually carry arms? The last time I checked, I found out that no, there's no, only the security operatives are allowed to actually carry arms. Yeah, this guy showed up with what? Looking like Rambo. What the heck is that? And now talking about that, it's not only Fulani people that they're trying to that. How many other people from other tribes do you see? Anyone you see actually carrying ammunitions or have a bullet belt strapped around them, know that they are doing it illegally and they can't just walk out around as if it is normal. He explained that they were united by pressing issues, including killings, kidnapping, and property destruction. He asks, in Nigeria, whenever there is a discussion, they call Fulani herders bandits and terrorists. But tell me, which tribe in the world does not have criminals among them? You Hausas who say we are bandits, don't you also have bandits amongst you? Yeah, but look, nobody is disputing all of this. But what we are saying is that there are people that makes a living out of it. And unfortunately, this whole thing actually started out with them. That's the truth. It actually started out with them. They were doing all of these things, and unfortunately, under the former president or during the Buhari regime or administration, hello, they were not really dealt with. They were being handled with soft. They were not really. There was no justice. I'm not saying that they should go harder than them than any other people in the country, but at least justice must be served where it is being identified and they have evidence that these people has actually committed, crimes. They should be dealt with. There are many, in fact, dozens upon dozens. Yet, no one stereotypes you with such a name, but they stereotype us as bandits. So, the truth of the matter is that the person, like they actually said, right, that this Kwashe Gawa, who was filmed, they said he was filmed with ammunition strapped to his waist. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Boldly, and I'm sure there are security operators over there, boldly to actually do that. We honestly, well, we need to really step up in this area. We seriously, because without appropriate security, the country is facing, I will keep saying it, existential threat. And I think, as far as I can see, we're not treating it with the seriousness it deserves. We're not. Everybody's pretending as if everything is all right. So, the next story that we actually want to talk about, so the emergency rule that was declared by President Tinubu has now come to an end, and Governor Fubara, I think he will be resuming today, and I think there's been a mediation that was actually done by the president. So apparently, there was this story that Fubara actually attended a funeral of one of the relatives of the FCT minister, and so obviously, looks like everything is back to normal, if you can call it normal, anyway. So we'll see exactly what is going on there. So let's look at that. I think there's a short video here. Do, do, do. So what we've actually got now is that the right. Residents light up Port Harcourt as Fubara returns. So Port Harcourt was the focus of national attention on Thursday as Governor Simi Laya, Simina Lai Fubara prepared to return to office. Following a 6-month suspension that saw governance in the state interrupted under emergency rule, His reinstatement, authorized by President Bola Tinubu, has triggered both celebration among residents and the formal resumption of state institutions. Crowds of supporters gathered across Port Harcourt from as early as 7 a.m., filling roads leading to the government house, the state secretariat, and adjoining street. Masquerade musicians and entertainers performed as residents expressed relief at the governor's return. Some moved on to the Port Harcourt International Airport to await his arrival. There's a new dawn for Rivers State, said one supporter near the brick house, where political figures also arrived to cheers from their followers. The governor's absence coincided with a period of political unrest that prompted the federal government to impose emergency rule. Fubara was last seen publicly in Port Harcourt at the burial of a relative of the minister, Senate of the Federal Capital Territory. Some weekend shortly after a peace pact was reached in Abuja under the president's mediation. Let's just have a brief look at this video.
Welcome to Nigeria Daily News Roundup channel. Here we bring it.
Wow. So this is Rivers. So it's a time of celebration. They are happy that democratic governance has been restored back after 6 months. So people are there, quite early to celebrate and to welcome the governor back. So in the midst of every of the insecurity that we have across the country, to actually have this, well, that's the thing with Nigerians. They will always find, they want to look at the bright side of things, no matter how bad things are. So I'm really happy that all that is done and done and dusted, like they say. So finally, we'll be talking about. I think we'll be leaving Nigeria now and we're going to Uganda. Mhm. They said Uganda woman who refuses to leave an Asian man car claiming she's in love. Wow. So you can just imagine what the heck is that? So let me bring that one up. Ah, I can't really wait to sort of understand what is really going on here. Okay. So basically, this lady is it's like the exposed by Mike Sonko, a former governor of Nairobi, known for his controversial political career, highlights a dramatic incident involving a Ugandan woman who refuses to leave an Asian man's car, claiming she's in love and he must marry her. So marriage is by force now. This scenario reflects broader cultural and social dynamics in East Africa, where personal relationships can sometimes intersect with public spaces in unexpected ways. The incident occurs in a context where cross border interactions are common due to the East African community, which includes Kenya, Uganda, and other nations. The EAC new merger control regime, effective from September 2025, aims to regulate economic activities across these borders, but personal and social interaction, as depicted in the video, often operate outside the former legal frameworks. The video's virality and Sonko's commentary after eating her fruits, he now wants to leave, suggests a narrative of exploitation or unfulfilled expectation in romantic encounters, which can be analyzed through the lens of gender studies and social media role in amplifying such incidents. This aligns with broader discussion on consent, power dynamics, and the impact of digital platform on personal narratives in African society. So let's look at this quickly.
We are travelers, okay, and you are wasting my time.
How did you come to know me? How did you enter my car? First tell me that. She says what?
She loves you.
She loves me for what?
Wow.
bw'atyo mwana muwala omunnayuganda bwe yeesiba ku musajja Omupakistaani eyalezze mu ggwanga Uganda
Okay, so
okulambula
as
oba
it
kale
is, look at the
okuliisa
guys from
amaaso kubanga
Pakistan.
tukimanyi nti b'abalambuzi munnange baliisa maaso. Vidiyo eno mpanvumu era nga bw'oba toli
Wow.
interested kulaba biwanvu mbadde nkusaba ogireke. Naye ggwe atalina buzibu mu kulaba
You
vidiyo
should not be
empanvu
forcing her
mugendere
like
ddala mu
that.
maaso
Yeah, you
nayo
should have
kubanga
just.
ekisookera ddala erimu ebyokuyiga
Wow.
bingi ekirala eri so interesting.
So the
Mugenda
guy wants to
kunyumirwa
pay her.
katugirabe.
Oh.
But why are you asking money?
No, I'm asking. I'm giving money. You can go out.
And what she says?
She's asking. It's okay. You can give.
Give her. First come out. No. First come out.
Come. I'm giving. No problem. You can come.
Now.
Wow, it's really I really feel, honestly, I really feel for her. Honestly, this is what poverty does to people. On a good day, on a normal note, such thing is not supposed to happen. Obviously, such thing is not supposed to happen. So, what could have actually led to this lady? So she probably saw the guy, an expatriate, and that's it. She doesn't want to leave. She had a make believe world briefly, and now the man wants to. They had an agreement, and now it's just about to discard her. So it's a rather unfortunate event. Honestly, it's really sad. This is one of the reasons why we say that governance is really important. But I will also say that before we can have good governance, we need to actually have a reset in our national psyche. Without us resetting our national psyche, all we're simply doing is just we're just playing, we're just doing shadow boxing. I can tell you that a nation is made up of the individuals. The individuals within a nation are the collective character and attitude determines how a people will stand strong. You can change the government, have all kind of legislation and all that. It's not going to do it. It's not going to do it. If you don't have a national, if a nation does not have good uh, if their national psyche, which is made up of the attitude and character, those are what actually gives us our national identity. It's not going to work. That is the conclusion. I've looked at so many things, so many places, even in Nigeria, everywhere. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I always say that in Nigeria, if we do not reset our national psyche, sheer waste of time. People will say, "Oh, those politicians are corrupt." The people that have you forgotten that when you're talking about politics or when you're talking about power, we say power to the people, government of the people. We talk about democracy, government of the people, by the people, for the people. The truth of the matter is this: if the people are corrupt, that's why we always say that politicians are a mirror reflection of the wider society. Whatever you see that the politicians are doing, guess what? That is already it's already common. They are not doing anything that is unusual. It is already there within the society. So they are merely just doing. I mean, when you plant an apple, why are you expecting to have an orange? If you plant apple now, you're going to get apple. That's just what it is. Anyway, well, I just want to say thank you, folks. So again tomorrow, so we're going to be back here again with more stories. And once again, my name is Olatunde. We'll see you tomorrow, and God bless. Good night.